Welcome, this is Mari. Today I'm going to show you how to make this candy cookie. I have many beads of colored yarn. I am using acrylic yarn, some stuffing, scissors, tapestry needle, and a 4mm hook. And the main color of the cookie is this top color I got over here. So let's get started. We start with the slip knot, then we chain 2, and on the second chain from the hook we do 8 single crochet stitches. Now on the second row, we are gonna do an increase in each stitch, which will be 2 single crochets on each stitch and in the row with 16 stitches. Now we're gonna continuously increase, doing 1 single crochet on the first stitch and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch all the way around, ending the round with 24 stitches. On this next round, we are going to do 1 single crochet stitch in 2 stitches and then 2 single crochet stitches in the next stitch, and in the round with 32 stitches. So now this is gonna be the last round with increasing. We're gonna work 1 single crochet on 3 stitches, then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Now we can use a stitch marker so you can place your like the beginning and the end of the round so you don't get confused. We are gonna work 1 single crochet in each stitch for 3 rounds. So each row will have 4 stitches. So now is the part of the work in which we're gonna begin decreasing each row. I moved the stitch marker up here so I know where my row begins and ends. And in this first decrease row, I'm gonna work one single crochet in the first 3 stitches. Then I will do a decrease. And this decrease, it's a slip stitch decrease. I'm gonna explain to you how it's done. I insert the hook in the first stitch and I bring the yarn from the back to the front, and I do the same step again. Yarn over, pull the yarn to the front. I had 3 loops on my hook and I just slide this first loop under the next 2 loops on the hook, and then I repeat the same pattern all the way to the end of the round. 1 stitch in the next 3 stitches and 1 slip stitch decrease in the next 2, and I will end the round with 32 stitches. This next row, we do 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches, then we do another slip stitch decrease right after, all the way around, and in the row with 24 stitches. Next row we do 1 single crochet stitch and then 1 slip stitch decrease, and in a row with 16 stitches. And by the end of this row we can start adding some stuffing, so when we get closer to the end it's not that hard to fill the cookie up. So now I removed my stitch marker because there's only gonna be one row left pretty much. I'm adding a little bit more stuffing. We're gonna do a slip stitch decrease our round 8 times and end the round with 8 stitches before we finish it off and weave the ends in. Now we're gonna embroider all the candy bits. You feel free to use any color yarn you would like. I'm gonna start with the brown one because it reminds me of the chocolate chip cookie. So I am inserting my needle across 2 rows because I like doing the brown parts a bit wider, and I just sew it from one side and bring it out and come back again about 5 times in the same spot. And I have a longer thread, and I don't start giving a knot or anything because I'm gonna use the same thread to embroider more bits around the cookie. So once I do it about 5 times, I find another spot that I think it might look good, and I bring my needle out the way to that side of the cookie from inside the cookie, and I just embroider again about 5 times. And then on the last time that I'm gonna embroider, I choose another spot where I want my needle to come out, and that's gonna be the next spot that I'm gonna embroider another chocolate chip. So when I'm done with my best bit of the same color, I go back to the very first spot in which I start sewing the first bit. So I have 2 tails coming out of the same end. Then I lift it down and I choose another color and repeat the process of choosing the placements of the next bits. Now that I'm done sewing all the colors and I'm satisfied with the look, I end up with all these bits, all these tails from the colors I chose. So there are 2 tails of each color and they should be in the same spot. And what I do with them is a double knot. The first one I pull it super tight very quickly, and then the second one it doesn't need to be as brute, and I do that all around the cookie. Then with the help of my crochet hook, I am able to pull these ends inside the cookie, so they're gonna hide in the middle of the stuffing of the cookie. So you just go somewhere in the back, stick the hook in a stitch, and try to find your way to where the tail is at. You wrap the tail around your hook and you gently pull it inside the cookie. Give it a little wiggle with the hook so it kind of blends in with the stuffing. And then you repeat the process with every single color you may have left. So now that we're done with the embroidering and hiding of the tails, and may end up with some of the filling, the stuffing showing, so we clean it up a bit. So here's the final cookie, and with this one I intend in turning into a keychain. I enjoy the embroidery part because it turns into cookie into a unique cookie. I hope you enjoyed this project. Please subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, leave a comment. You can follow me on my other social medias and visit my shop. I appreciate you being here. Have a good one.